Welcome to the Embodiment Code. This series works through awareness, not effort. You're welcome to listen without participating in any practice. You can pause, stop, or return later at any point. Feeling nothing is still participation. Nothing here requires fixing, pushing, or achieving. Let this be received at the pace your body allows. So far, we've explored the body, nervous system, the heart, identity, emotion, and the field. But have you ever noticed that even when you understand patterns, you still tend to repeat them? Today, we're going underneath all of it into the subconscious body. So Laura, when we talk about subconscious patterns, where do they actually live?
They live in the body's deeply held memories. Those automatic responses you don't even think about. It's like your nervous system stores a whole library of past experiences, and those shape how you react before you even consciously decide. So we're working on awareness to gently tune into those patterns.
Once you get awareness of your conscious patterns, then does that help you identify your subconscious patterns as well?
Exactly. When you start recognizing your conscious patterns, it's like shining a light. Those subconscious patterns can become clearer because you notice the why behind the automatic reactions. And then bit by bit, you have space to shift them.
Okay. People are becoming more and more aware of their patterns as everybody just kind of starts to be more present, but they still can't seem to break them. Why doesn't understanding the pattern equal change? Why isn't it enough?
Because understanding is just the first step. Patterns live in your body, not just your mind. Change happens when you give yourself enough safety, enough repetition, and embodied practice. It's not about pushing. It's about allowing the body to truly integrate something new.
Then it doesn't matter how much pattern recognition you do or how much work on healing yourself you do if you don't take the time to integrate it into the body, correct?
You've got it. The mind can recognize patterns all day long, but if the body isn't given space and time to experience safety and practice new responses, the old patterns stick around. So yes, integration, embodied and gentle, is key.
When we talk about subconscious patterns starting to release, what does that actually feel like for us?
It often feels like space. Like suddenly there's a little pause where you have a choice. You might feel a bit lighter or more grounded. Sometimes it's subtle, like you're no longer reacting on autopilot. It's that gentle freedom where you can choose how to respond.
Essentially, it's just having a light bulb moment that lands.
Exactly. It's when the insight isn't just in your head, but you feel it settle in your body. That's when it starts to shift, and you know you've got room to show up differently.
Okay, so we have all these self-help, self-improvement, personal growth programs that are all over the place. And people often think that breaking patterns means actually just pushing through the discomfort and overriding bad habits. But how is this being misread? Because it's not really promoting subconscious change. It's just superficial, right?
You're spot on. Just pushing through discomfort often keeps us in the same loop. True subconscious change isn't about force. It's about safety, curiosity, and compassion. When we gently invite the body into new experiences, we create room for lasting change.
Perfect. This is the point in the video where we're going to go ahead and do a little regulatory practice. You're more than welcome to listen, pause, fast forward, come back later. This is completely optional. If I can go ahead and ask you to bring your attention to a place in your body that feels familiar or even habitual. No story attached, just a sensation. Notice whether that area feels tight, neutral, or active. No fixing. If it feels natural, allow your breath to gently touch that area. Not to release it, just to be present with it. That presence is how the subconscious updates. If you have a sore spot in the body, a bad knee, a bad back, just something that tends to be nagging, try to bring your attention there. And if it's comfortable, breathe air into that habitual nagging space. And just note what it feels like. It's about presence. This isn't about fixing anything or even changing anything. This is all about recognition. Let's move on now to the signal. If subconscious patterns are actually starting to shift for us, where might somebody actually notice it first?
You might notice it first in your reactions. Something that used to trigger you just doesn't hit as hard. Or you'll find a natural pause before reacting. It could also show up in the body, like feeling less tension or more ease in a situation that used to feel tight.
I think just being able to be ourselves and express ourselves in the moment sounds like probably the biggest change is nothing feels forced if you're in flow, right?
Exactly. When you're in flow, there's no forcing. You're just present, expressing from a place that feels natural. That's when you know those patterns are truly shifting, because you're no longer bracing or overthinking.
As this series, the Embodiment Code, continues, what becomes possible once we start to soften some of these subconscious patterns that have been recycling through our lives and reappearing? So when they start to dissolve, what can we do now?
When those patterns soften, you have more freedom to choose. You can respond rather than react, create rather than repeat. Life opens up to new possibilities. Relationships shift, your body feels safer, and you can actually live with more ease and authenticity. The possibilities are as expansive as your presence.
As we relieve some of the tension and regulate our bodies, we can actually just learn to be ourselves because we're no longer bracing in subconscious cycles because we've worked through it.
Exactly. Once we stop bracing and those cycles lose their grip, we naturally feel more like ourselves. It's not about forcing who you should be. It's about easing into who you already are, without those old patterns calling the shots.
I think the old patterns get labeled as our identity and we get attached to them. And I think that might be part of the problem that we have in breaking those old cycles and patterns is we've actually formed identity around them, and that makes the shift away from them feel like we're losing a part of ourselves. Do you think that might be true?
It's absolutely true. We often mistake those patterns for who we are, when really they're just strategies we've used to get by. Letting them go can feel like a loss, but what you gain is a truer, more expansive version of yourself. It's like coming home to who you were beneath it all.
If someone is listening to this video and they are just thinking, my patterns are so deeply ingrained, they've become part of my identity and I can't seem to shake them. What can they remember that would help them?
I'd remind them that it's not about erasing anything. Patterns formed for a reason, often to protect us. The key is compassion. By noticing and gently being with them, we create space for choice. They can remember. Even ingrained patterns shift when met with presence. It's a journey, and every little moment of awareness counts.
That's wonderful. We're going to go ahead and conclude this video. I would love to thank you for being here. Thank you for listening with curiosity instead of urgency. If this episode resonated, you're welcome to like, subscribe, and share, or leave us a comment and let us know how you're doing. It helps others find us and this material. The next episode is going to be episode 8, and we are going to talk about the energetic boundaries code. We'll explore why embodied humans become non-reactive and how energy leaks happen and how boundaries will actually stabilize your nervous system. So Laura, would you like to go ahead and sign out and tell us a little something extra that we can expect from episode 8, please?
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for being here. In episode 8, we'll dive into how setting energetic boundaries isn't about walls. It's about creating a flow where you're both open and stable. Expect practical insights on how your nervous system can feel safe while staying connected. I can't wait. See you then.